Most all the apps that you can get to them just by going to our website from a browser. We'll detect what phone you have and try and get you set up right away. And then once you have it installed, you'll see the Slacker. That this is our kind of our S music note here icon that you'll see in this corner. When I launch that, it'll load the application. And again, this is the one for the BlackBerry. This is the BlackBerry Storm. And once you load it, you'll get a station list. And this is pretty similar across all the. You'll see as I show you each of the devices, the interface is very similar. You can either, the first item there is search, so you can go in and search for, an artist or a song or whatever you like. But the nice part is, again, and this is different from most of our competitors, is there's all these stations to pick from right away. You don't have to go make one in order to listen. You can get started right away. So you can see each of the genres has a number next to them to show how many stations are in each category. Right? So some have more than others. You'll see our dance, electronic. There's 11 stations in there. We have 14 alt stations. We have our top 12 stations, which we kind of change periodically depending on what's being played and what's happening. There's a number of different stations in here. So it's like if we were to go, let's grab one of these bigger ones, like alternative. Once you go into a station, you'll see all the stations presented with some kind of a thumbnail rep with the album art that's for that station. Typically, this will be the next song is going to play from whatever album is shown there. So you'll see as you'll scroll through, there's all kinds of different stations. This one has 14. There's what do we have here? We have our regular alt station, we have adult alternative. There's a whole bunch of them in here. One thing, it might be kind of hard to see, but in the upper corner here, you can see that there's like a little earmark in the corner of all of the top 3 here. And some of them have green check marks, and some of them have a yellow check mark. And what that means is these have been marked for cache to store on the device. Okay. And once you've marked a station for cache, you'll get a yellow check mark that just says, it'll give you a note that says you sure want to cache this station. You say, yes, I do. And it'll say next time you refresh the stations, it'll be cached to your device. And until you do that, it'll show up as a yellow mark. Right? Once you've cached it, it shows up as a green mark. And you'll see that if we go back to the station list, there's a cached stations, and there's 4 in there. These are stations I've marked to be cached. You'll see there those 2 are that we had in there that have already been cached. Now these I can play without any connection at all, right? So I go on the airplane, I launch these stations, they play because they're stored to the device. That doesn't mean that they don't work. We store them by songs. It's not like we took a snapshot of the radio station. We pulled the songs in we need to play, and we still pick and assemble them just like we would if we were pulling them from our server. It's just that they're local. And the way that you refresh these on this build, and the way most of these devices will work, from a menu option, you can go in and you say, I want to refresh my stations. Where is it right? Like if I were to click that, it would say, you sure you want to update this? And depending on your phone, whether you have Wi-Fi or you have a 3G connection, it will call out and it will start saying, okay, here's the station I need to cache. I need to figure out what my song list is, and it'll just start pulling songs down. And once it's done, everything's stored, then you can play it. With this device and with this build that we're just getting ready to launch, it's probably a couple weeks away, we even have an auto refresh. So if you have power and if your device is connected to power and it's in the middle of the night, you're not using it, we'll wake it up and we'll go get music so that in the morning, whether you did anything or not, all your stations are all updated. So if new music came out or our DJs tweaked the station somehow or whatever, your station that you had cached will get updated with all the new stuff. Right? So you don't do anything. So imagine that playlist that you never change. If somebody went in the middle of the night and fixed it all up for you, that's kind of what we're doing there. And so if we go, let's say if we launch one of these stations, let's see, I'll just go back and grab one of those as well. Maybe I'll just grab a indie hit station. So once the station launches, you'll see it'll go out, it'll set up the connection. You'll get a large album art for the song you're listening to here. You'll have a little bit of a preview of whatever the next album is going to be, and it'll show up below here. Say this is the next artist that's playing, this is who you're listening to right now. So here we're listening to the Weepies, and there's I'm upside down, but you'll see the next artist's list right here. And then if you want to get more information, you can go in, if you just click on the album art, you'll see that there's another category here where you have the review of the album, artist biography, song lyrics, right? So if I'm like I want to learn about this album, maybe it's something I've never heard of before, sounds pretty cool, I want to check it out. I can go through and read, here's all about this album, here's what's going on, here's other songs on this album that might be interesting, and I can even go a step deeper and say, well, who is this artist? I'm not really familiar with them. say, okay, here's a picture of the band, and here's all about them. You know, maybe they're from my hometown or something. I don't know, right? But I get to learn about this band, and there's, you know, extensive profiles here that you can read about these artists. So not only are you getting the music discovery just from being able to hear it, but you can step one layer in deeper and learn all. But you could be an expert on this band in, you know, 10 minutes, and then next time you heard them, you could say, oh yeah, I know that band. You know, all kinds of stuff about them. So it's pretty cool. And then you can, you know, you just go back to the music station, and then, you know, you can skip your songs. You can rate songs down here. If we play something you don't like, not only can you ban the song, and if you ban a song, we don't play it on the station anymore. You can ban the artist too. Like, this artist does not fit on this station. You'd say, you ban. If I say I want to ban this thing, you'll say, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to ban the song, or do you want to ban the artist? You ban the artist, you know, we would never play the Weepies on that station again, because that's.
Is there a way for you to bring the artist back?
There is. You can go in and not. Right now you have to do it, you'd go to the, if you log in the website, you can go in and view all of your ratings, all the stuff on the station. You can toggle them and say, oh, you know, I did that by accident, or maybe I just hated those guys that day, I'll bring them back, give them another chance, whatever it is. You can go through and see all your ratings and go through that. Eventually we'll probably bring that to the phone as well. It's a little more complicated because that's a lot of data to deal with. But you can easily, you just sign in with the same account on the web, all your stuff is there, all your ratings are there. You can do that from any website. But yeah, you can get them back. Let's see. Let me go back all the way here. So that's basically the app, right? You know, there's stations. You can go. I guess the one thing I didn't show you is. So you can see here. Now that I'm back in the menu, it still shows what I'm listening to. So even though I'm not looking at that view anymore, it shows what's going on. If I click that, it'll take me back to that view. And then if I go to search, these are recent searches, or recently played. But if I go through and search, if I search for an artist, whatever, it'll just go in and launch a station based on that. It'll go into my recently played, and I can mark them as favorites or whatever. And any station I mark as a favorite station goes into this list, and then I can get them real quickly whenever I want. Right? So these are stations that I want to have real easy access to. Maybe I made them myself, or they're one of the genre stations, and I just want to be able to find a quick hit there. Or as same as recently played, so just I can go back and get the last 10, and then my custom stations all live here. If I go on the web and I make a custom station, it just shows up in my app. Right? So you can go make a real detailed station, and then the next time you log in the app, it's always right there. Okay, so that's BlackBerry.
That's also available on the BlackBerry Tour, right?
It's on every BlackBerry, all modern BlackBerries. You can get the app.
Okay.
Yep.